I'd much rather be sitting here discussing an Aussie win by an innings, but Joe Root and Dawid Malan had to make this interesting. And all of a sudden, we have an interesting weekend of cricket upon us. What a day for England. They've turned it around in a way, and they're back in the match.
Absolutely. I think it was a really good day for England from a batting point of view, because the way they turned out on day one, it was really the whole team was in shambles. The fan base was in shambles, but I love to see that. Don't get me wrong. But
so do I.
Yeah, Joe Root and Dawid Malan have really turned it around, and they have actually made a good match of this. If England can play the whole day tomorrow, or at least try to play the whole day tomorrow and get a good even 200 to 250 lead, Australia batting fourth can get really close on that last day.
The hope I have with that is that it is a pretty decent batting wicket, pretty decent pitch. A few that kick up out of nowhere, but I think overall the Gabba the last few years, like it's come good for batting, and what about Pat Cummins? The first day and a half or 2 days of Test cricket, absolutely perfect. And now he's realised oh shit, this is the real Test cricket.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this was, sorry to cut you off, but this was the perfect example, for a new captain. The first day was pretty smooth. He would have thought, oh, this is pretty easy. Even Alex Carey making his debut in the Test, he would have thought, oh, the Test match, Test cricket is easy. But obviously, as Test cricket goes and as it has went over the last few years, it just ebbs and flows of Test cricket.
That's the beauty of it, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Ebbs and flows. Love it. Yep.
And my question to you, Shabel, was around the bowling attack. I think it lacked a bit of bite in it today, especially. Given that Josh Hazelwood only bowled 8 overs, what are your thoughts?
What I was wondering, why is Josh Hazelwood bowling only 8? I don't know if there's an injury. He stayed on the field the whole time. It's almost like we're playing a game of where's Hazelwood here or where's Josh.
Do you think that's the part of their sort of rotation policy, or resting?
Resting one of your key bowlers during a game. I don't understand that. We're in a world
sorry,
of rotation.
the term now is managing the workload.
Don't play him then if you want to manage his workload. But I don't know if he's got an injury or a niggle or something. It's 8 overs, and we need a wicket, and Hazelwood's got the ability to do that.
Absolutely.
I think it's, again, for Australia, the question was, can we take wickets with the old ball? We're struggling in that area. Like we found it difficult last summer in that series. Remember, just taking wickets with that old ball, it was tough again today. So gonna have to find a way tomorrow morning, but I hope that, Stumps came at a good time, can regroup overnight, get a good night's rest and come back at it in the morning and hopefully get an early one. That's the hope. But I hope Hazelwood's all right, because that's the only reason I can explain why he hasn't bowled more.
Yep.
It's a bit weird.
Yep. And also Mitchell Starc. I think now it's...
Shane Warne will be loving that.
Absolutely.
We know that. We know that about Mitchell Starc. Mitchell Starc is inconsistent, but that's what you need.
Going to talking about Mitchell Starc and the way he started, even the first over today that he bowled was absolutely brilliant.
It was cracker.
The first innings was absolutely brilliant as well.
Saying in the group chat, I would love to see more of that from Starc. That first over, getting the ball to swing and good pace.
Yeah,
really coming in and running in hard, and I don't know, just not consistent enough. Leaked a lot of runs, and in a situation like this, you need some control. But
and what about Nathan Lyon still struggling for his 400th wicket? It's
got
been
close.
I think he took a wicket of Washington Sundar last, in the Brisbane Test.
Now.
Then after that, he will bowl 1 ball, and then this series he has bowled in 2 innings now, almost over 300 balls, and it's still no wickets.
Yeah, it's been a long time. How many overs is it now between drinks? Can't remember. Well over 150 deliveries perhaps since his last wicket. So he came close today. I felt maybe, I don't know if it was Cummins making the decision. I felt the lack of a silly point to Dawid Malan in particular, I felt was a bit weird, because
just takes the pressure off.
Takes the pressure off. He's more comfortable. But he plays with really low hands. So what that means is if a ball can pop up, and Lyon can get the ball to bounce on the Gabba pitch, if he can get the ball to bounce a bit, ball can pop up to that silly point fielder. I think one did pop up, but there was no silly point there during the day. I'm like, that's where you got to, you'll learn that as a captain, not to go on the defensive too quickly. I know England have batted really, really well, but Australia have always been in front. And, you have that lead, you've got the luxury to attack a bit more. Yeah, it's a big morning tomorrow for the bowling attack, and Nathan Lyon in particular. I thought he bowled pretty well. Maybe at times, particularly to Joe Root, he goes too straight, and then Joe Root just picks him off or something like that. I'd rather him, just keep it nice and wide outside off stump and try spin one through the gate or bring slip into play.
Yeah. Before we talk about the England batting, I think quickly I would like to get your thoughts on Pat Cummins and his captaincy, especially under pressure. What do you make of that?
Yeah, look, it's still very early days, of course, but there's a couple of things that maybe, when Cam Green came on, we only had the one slip in place. I felt Green could have come on earlier just for his point of difference in the attack. He looked arguably our most threatening bowler today, actually, and he nearly got a wicket off the last ball. I wouldn't like to face him as a batsman when, you got a 6'8", big unit, big chest, quick. So I would have liked to see more of that. Maybe, the fact that they went to just the one slip, when there's a bit of bounce in the surface and also that silly point,
And
just seeing that's the best way you're going to get Lyon to get a wicket is through that.
Absolutely. And I think you're right, because I was watching in the first session and I did not see Cam Green bowling at all. And I thought to myself, if they're pitching him as a genuine all-rounder, he has to bowl more. He has to bowl at least one spell per session. You know what I mean? Like he has to give. It
took, I remember at least 35 to 40 overs before he came on. And I felt, could have got him on a bit earlier. When he did come on, I thought he looked really good. And you've got that asset there. Use him for a couple of overs where you can. Even potentially, if you need to break a partnership, Travis Head is someone you can look at. I know they looked at Marnus Labuschagne as well, but you've got some options in your bowling attack to just turn to there when you need to get a wicket. But the one that really surprised me was Hazelwood only bowling 8.
Yeah, unless he's injured.
That's the only explanation I have. But I don't remember him going off the field.
Yeah. I did not see him go off the field as well. So the best explanation could be managing the workload, as that phrase is thrown around a lot.
Yeah. A lot's happened in the day today, apart from Shane Warne complaining about Hobart getting the 5th day, complaining about Stark. I don't know. That's one. Look, hopefully he's all right and he comes tomorrow morning. And I think they're 10 overs now till the new ball. If we can get one before that new ball, that's going to be a real bonus. Particularly Joe Root, man. That guy's now got the most runs for an England player in a calendar year. What did you make of his innings? That was class.
That was absolutely brilliant. You can just tell why he's got so many runs this year. He's just
have to hold your hand up and say, well played.
Yeah, absolutely. He's just applying himself, probably the best. And he's shown other England batters as well is, yes, the conditions are tough. You're playing Australia in their own backyard, but you have once you apply your, basics and you stick to simple cricket, what you know best, soft hands, not playing in front of your body, especially the first innings that he got out. He tried to drive it too hard. That's why I caught the edge and, went to first slip. But this innings, he was playing with soft hands, not pushing at the ball too much, just letting the ball come to you as a batter is really important. So yeah, that's what he did best. That's what he did best. So, kudos to him, real credit to him.
The
and
thing as well, man,
Malan.
he stays busy, Root. You can't really settle to him. You go off your line an inch and he's either working you through the offside.
Exactly.
That's similar to what he did against India earlier in the year, playing beautifully.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, because quickly before we touch on Malan, about Joe Root, I think, yes, he can, get those big runs, but the key about his batting is he gets those big runs quickly. He doesn't spend 400 balls and gets 150, or he's not a Pujara, or he's not
keeps the bowler on his toes.
He always, even the fielders, he always looking for singles, looking for doubles, pushing into gaps. And that's what you got to do as a number 4, as a key
It'd be
batter
really
in your
tough to bowl
team.
to a player like that, eh? Like
Exactly,
you're bowling,
exactly.
you want to bowl. I know Shane Warne is big on this. When his cricket analysis is spot on, he says that you want to try limit the singles because you want to try build pressure on the same batsman as often as you can. And Joe Root doesn't let you do that.
Yep. And that's
He's rotating all the time.
That's what Australia did in the first innings, that they kept one batter as at one end and the other at the other end. And that's what helped them, get those wickets.
And now Root is converting his 50s into big scores. You had that period of his career where he wasn't doing that. People were like, oh, is he part of the big boys anymore? Is he part of the big 4? But even then, he was always consistently getting half centuries. He scored 5 50s in the last Ashes, and people said he was under par, but he still scored 5 half centuries. Players would kill for that around the world.
Absolutely. So and those are the standards, isn't it? Those are the standards. When he wasn't at his best, he was still scoring. Even when he wasn't at his best, he was still scoring runs. But now he's converting it into big tons. And we need to get him early tomorrow because I'm fearful that he'll go and get a big one. And those are the standards, these batters set, Joe Root, Virat Kohli, Steve Smith, Manas, Kane Williamson. These are the standards that people expect only hundreds. But quickly touching on Malan, really, I think it really helped him having Joe Root at the other end. I was listening to Malan's interview after the day, and he said that he missed. He in the field. There was a point when it was drinks, and Malan said that I actually said to Joe Root that I've missed this. I've missed Test cricket. I've missed being out here, and it's so good that's the kind of thing you want to see from as a captain. If I'm Joe Root, that's the kind of thing I want to see from my batters. Just grinding it out there, just staying with them. Being patient, applying the basics, as I said. And I think it's really important tomorrow morning that these two batters play out at least the first session.
Did they ask him in the interview that whether he nicked that one or not earlier in his innings? How can we not have Snicko, man? What's going on? No one's calling no balls, no Snickers.
That's absolute poor. I mean, you can't have that in 2021. Let's be honest.
No, you can't. But look, not to take any credit away from him, but as an Aussie fan who's a bit nervous at the moment, I've got to mention it. But that was awesome from Malan too. The application, I think, was very impressive from him. Very solid for the most part in his defence. And then, cashing in. And a strike rate of 45 is completely acceptable when you got Joe Root at the other end. I think this partnership, the highlight for me is, but they've rotated the strike so well.
All right, everyone.
Look forward to tomorrow. Look forward to tomorrow. Thanks everyone for tuning in, and that should be good. Thanks, Nash.
Thank you.